Nobody cares. Focus on your life. This is one of the hardest truths to accept. But once you embrace it, your entire perspective shifts and you finally start living with freedom, strength, and clarity. The Stoics knew this long ago. People are too caught up in their own problems, their own worries, and their own ambitions to truly care about what you're doing, how you are living, or whether you succeed or fail. Yet we waste so much of our energy worrying about the opinions of others. What will people say if I fail? What will they think if I make a mistake? How will they see me if I take an unconventional path? The reality is, most people don't even notice, and those who do quickly move on because life is too demanding for them to stay focused on you. This realization should not depress you. It should liberate you, because it means you no longer have to live as a prisoner of external judgment. Instead, you can finally turn your energy inward, focusing on the one life you control, your own. The Stoics, from Marcus Aurelius to Epictetus, repeated this lesson in different ways. Do not waste your short time on earth worrying about the noise around you. Focus instead on what you can control, your actions, your thoughts, and your character. Because in the end, respect does not come from being liked by everyone. It comes from being rooted in principles and living with integrity, even when no one is watching. Think about how many dreams have been buried because of fear of criticism. Someone wanted to start a business, but stopped because they thought people would laugh at their failure. Someone wanted to pursue art, but didn't because they feared people would call it silly. Someone wanted to speak their truth, but stayed silent because they feared rejection. But if nobody really cares, then why should you stop yourself? Most people are too busy worrying about their own flaws to care about yours. And even if they mock you, their words carry no weight unless you give them power. The Stoics teach us that insult and criticism are like wind. They only matter if you open your window and let them in. If you close the window, the wind passes by, powerless. This is why Epictetus said, if someone speaks badly of you, don't defend yourself, live so that no one will believe it. When you stop chasing approval and start chasing excellence, when you stop trying to be liked and instead focus on being disciplined, when you stop crying for attention and instead demand respect through action, you become untouchable. Nobody cares about your struggles as much as you think. So don't waste your life begging for sympathy. Instead, care for yourself. Focus on growth, and let your results speak louder than your complaints. The truth is, the world owes you nothing. Nobody is waiting to save you. Nobody is going to hand you the life you dream of, and nobody truly cares if you waste your years. Harsh? Yes. Powerful? Absolutely. Because once you stop expecting the world to care, you take responsibility for your own destiny. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Notice what he didn't say. He didn't say you have power over what people think of you or how they treat you or whether they cheer for you. He said you have power over your mind, and that is enough. When you internalize this, you stop being a victim and start being a creator. You stop crying about how unfair life is and start building the life you want. Every great leader, every achiever, every master of their craft understood this. They didn't wait for people to care. They didn't complain about lack of support. They simply focused on their mission until the world had no choice but to notice. Think about it like the gym. When you go there, do you notice everyone around you? What weight they are lifting, how perfect their form is, how sweaty they look? No, because you are too busy struggling with your own set, your own pain, your own breath. The same is true in life. Everyone is carrying their own weights, their own burdens, their own worries, and they don't have time to obsess over yours. So why live as if the spotlight is on you? It isn't. The spotlight is on no one, except maybe for a fleeting moment. And once you realize this, you are free to move, to take risks, to live without chains. You are free to try, to fail, to try again, because failure is only embarrassing if you believe people are watching closely, but they are not. They are watching themselves. Another powerful Stoic lesson is this. People's opinions are not reality. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, I've often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinion of others. Isn't that the truth? You trust your own judgment so little that you allow random voices to dictate your choices. But why? If nobody really cares, why give their words such power? The Stoic way is to ground yourself in virtue. Focus on wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. These are the only qualities that truly matter. Do people think you're strange for choosing discipline over pleasure? Let them. Do people think you're boring for avoiding gossip and drama? Let them. Do people think you're foolish for chasing a dream? Let them. What they think does not shape reality. Your actions do. Nobody cares. So focus on living virtuously. And with time, even your critics will turn into silent admirers. True freedom is not doing whatever you want, whenever you want. True freedom is not needing approval, not needing applause, not needing permission to live. True freedom is the inner strength that comes from knowing that you control your choices, your thoughts, and your actions. And the key to this freedom is remembering that nobody cares. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." And where does this suffering come from? From imagining what others might think, what they might say, how they might judge. But if you realize that people barely think about you at all, the suffering disappears. You stop living in fear's shadows and start living in the light of reality. Think about your mornings. How often do you hesitate before posting something online, or before speaking up, or before making a decision, because you worry what people will say? But hours later, you scroll past 100 posts and barely remember any of them. Doesn't that tell you something? Just as you forget about others, they forget about you. So why live paralyzed by imaginary judgment? Why give so much weight to fleeting opinions? If you want respect, stop chasing likes and start chasing mastery. If you want freedom, stop begging for validation and start validating yourself. Nobody cares if you fail 100 times. They will only care when you succeed, and by then your success will speak louder than their doubt ever could. The Stoics also teach us that comparison is a thief of joy. Why? Because when you measure your worth by others, you will always feel behind, inadequate, or unworthy. But if nobody really cares, then why compare at all? Your race is not against them. It is against yesterday's version of you. Each day, the only question that matters is, am I better than I was yesterday? Did I improve even a little? Did I resist excuses? Did I practice discipline? Did I learn something new? Did I control my anger, my desires, my impulses? This is the true path of Stoicism, not to win applause, but to win over yourself. Nobody cares if you rise or fall, but you should. You must care, because it is your life, your time, your soul on the line. And here's a final thought. When you accept that nobody cares, you unlock the secret resilience, because rejection no longer destroys you. Failure no longer paralyzes you. Criticism no longer defines you. You become anti-fragile. You grow stronger with each challenge because you know that the world is not watching your every move. This is a gift of Stoic wisdom. It returns the power back to you. It reminds you that your time is short. Your life is yours. And the only thing that matters is living according to virtue and purpose. Everything else is noise. So remember this. Nobody cares. And that is your greatest freedom. Stop waiting for permission. Stop begging for validation. And stop fearing judgment. Lie with discipline. Live with purpose. And live with courage. Because in the end, the only person who truly needs to care about your life is you. The world will forget your mistakes faster than you think. But it will remember your strength, your persistence, and your results. So rise every morning with this truth in mind. You owe it to yourself to keep going, to keep growing, and to keep building the life you deserve. Everything else is just noise. So tune it out and focus on your path.